Hello everyone, Udit this side. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to take another example of LLD problem and we are going to discuss about it. The topic of the LLD problem that we are taking today is a ticket booking application. So it's just like BookMyShow, TicketMaster, where you are going to book a ticket and select seats as and ticket booking is specifically for a movie. So yeah, that's the problem that we are going to solve in this video. There are many aspects of it that we are going to discuss in the video. So do watch the video till the end, and and I have divided this video in multiple parts so that you can, if you are not interested in a specific part, then you can jump directly to the next video, or to the specific video which you are interested in. But I would suggest that you watch the complete video so that you get the complete idea. Great. So let's start with the problem description. So as I told you, it is a movie ticket booking application. So we have to implement a movie ticket booking application for a theater, and theater has screens. It runs shows, right? So it's like Audi and all. So a single theater, like just like PVR or something, it has multiple Audis or multiple auditoriums or multiple screens, and each screen runs movies, right? And each movies run at different times, and each of that time is called as a show. Correct. So each show has a particular movie, a start time, a duration, and it is played in a particular screen in the theater. Each screen again has an arrangement of seats that can be booked by users. So this is how the theater and show is described. Now we are assuming that all the users are already registered and they are authenticated and logged in into the application. So we are not going to handle the users creation, user registration. So those kind of flow are not required to be handled in the application, in the solution. Once a user selects a particular show, right, to book the tickets, a user booking session starts. What does it mean? That a user will be able to get the available seats and select the seats he wishes to book in a particular user booking session. So what happens is, like, user booking session, when it starts and user starts selecting the seat, those seats should become unavailable for other users, right? Just like it happens in a normal booking application, because if two users picks the same seat, then it will become chaotic for them, like which one who should get that seat finally, right? So we should not allow two users to pick same seat. So if a seat has already been selected by one user, then other users should not be able to see them. So that's what is mentioned over here. Once the user has selected a group of seats, then those seats will become temporarily unavailable. They are not permanently unavailable, because the user can cancel his booking. Cannot continue with his booking. I should not say cancel, because there is no cancellation of booking, but user can just can start the booking and not complete the payment. So if the user has not completed the payment, then the seats are not completely booked, right? So that's why until the time, during the time when the seats have been picked by the user and they are not booked, at that time we are blocking the seats only temporarily. We are not completely or permanently blocking the seats, right? But once the user has completed their payment, right, at that time we say that seats have become permanently unavailable. Now they are permanently blocked, right? And if the payment fails, then seats become available again. One catch here is, like, a user can retry payment when the payment fails, but only up to a maximum number of times. So beyond the maximum number of times, if the payment fails again, then the seats become unavailable again, right, from the blocked state. So the flow is like: user starts booking, seats become blocked, other users will not be able to see them. User payment succeeds, the seats become permanently unavailable. No other user will ever see the seats for that particular show, because those seats have already been booked. If the payment fails or user session expires, then those seats will become available to other users again, right? That's what we are saying here. If the user explicitly close the booking session, or if the user session expires, then the seats become available to other users again. And also, if the payment fails, then also the seats become available to the other users again. Now, to demonstrate the problem or the scenarios, we have three cases mentioned over here. The case one is, say, U1 and U2 select the same show. U1 requests for and gets all the available seats for this show. U1 selects group of seats and proceeds to pay. Now U2 requests for seats and gets available seats for this show. As I already told you, since U1 has selected some seats, so when U2 asks for the available seats, U2 should not see the seats which are already selected by U1 as available, right? They should be blocked because U1 has already selected those seats. Now payment successful for U1 and U1 receives the tickets as seats confirmed. So let's start with case 2. Here in case 2, user and 1 and user 2 are, again, there are two users. User 1 and user 2 request the seats for the same show, like what all are the available seats. Since both of them have requested the same seat, have requested for the available seats at the same time, so both of them will get all the available seats for this show, right? There will not be any blocked seats because neither U1 nor U2 has selected any of the seats. Now let's say U1 selects some group of seats. U1 proceeds to pay. Now U2 again requests for available seats. Now since some seats have already been selected by U1, so U2 should not see the seats which are already selected by U2 now, right? U1 now, right? Because U1 has already selected some seats. Now let's say payment failed for U1, so the seats selected by U1 should become available again. So when U2 again requests the seats after the payment failed, now U2 should again see the seats, all the seats as available. So there are three times U2 is selecting the seats. First, when the U1 has also selected the seats at that time, U2 should also get all the seats. Second time, when U1 has selected some seats, at that time U2 should not see the seats which are selected by U1 already. At third time, when U1's payment has failed, since the payment has failed and we are assuming only 0 retries for the payment, so the seats should become available again and U2 should see all the available seats again for this show. That was case 2. Now let's come to case 3. Case 3 as an example, a scenario given to us is, let's say there are again U1 and U2 as the users. U1 and U2 request for the available seats for this show. Now U1 selects group of seats and proceeds to pay. So U1 has blocked some seats for himself. Now let's say U2 also select the similar seats, like same seats or the overlapping seats which U1 has already selected. So U2 should be notified that one or more seats that you have selected are not available at this moment. Now the seats have become unavailable because U1 had made the choice first. So the seats got blocked for U1 and U2 cannot proceed with the booking because those seats are not available anymore. Those seats can become available again if the U1 payments failed or U1 does not book the seats at all. Now what we want as a bonus requirement here is, like, we can have a configurable timeout for user booking session. So until now, I told you, like, a user booking session can expire after some time, but that is given as a bonus over here. So if user selects some seats and payment is not completed by the timeout, so we need to expire the blocked seats after some time. So that is a bonus requirement that is given to us. Now let's come to expectations. What is the expectations from the interviewer side, right? So the interviewer side expectations are, like, we have to create some sample data ourselves. So there is no sample data given to us on which we can run the program. We need to create a code which can be demoable either using a main driver program or test cases. Code should be modular. It should follow good O design. We should not cross. We should not jam in responsibilities of one class into another, right? Code should be extensible. It should be using interfaces and contracts wherever possible. Code should handle edge cases properly and fail gracefully. Code should be legible and readable, right? Guidelines, there are some guidelines given, which is like DB is not expected. We can store it in memory. We have to discuss the solution with the interviewer towards the end. We cannot access internet for anything except syntax. We are free to use language of any choice. We are using it in Java, but interviewer gave me the language. Interviewer did not force me to use any specific language. I could use language of any one language I wanted, right? All code should be mine. I should not copy it, right? So these are the basic guidelines, but the main thing is expectations and the original requirements. So I hope the requirements are clear to you now.